Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like it's really, really hard to relax? Do you feel like your mind is always racing? And because of this, you have problems sleeping, you're low on energy, you have problems concentrating, problems focusing, problems doing tasks at work. Maybe you feel very, very irritable around other people. Maybe you just want to go home and be by yourself. But every time you go home and you're by yourself and you try to relax, you try to escape everything, for some reason, you just can't. And because of this, you start getting really, really frustrated. Maybe you even start getting depressed. Maybe you develop some type of anxiety. And now you're just looking for a solution. You're looking for an answer. You want to know how to relax. Maybe you've tried things like meditation. Maybe you tried therapy. Maybe you tried yoga. Maybe you tried all of these things that the mainstream suggests, but none of it seems to work. And the last thing you want to do, the last thing you want to do is get on medication, because we all know that medication has a lot of side effects. Well, if you clicked on this video, and this is the reason why you clicked on this video, I'm going to go over why you're unable to relax, why you're unable to unwind. And by the time you're done with this video, I'm going to show you a couple of strategies on how to actually relax, how to actually settle into the moment. So if you must know, my name is Lou, and I'm a personal trainer and licensed massage therapist. Well, technically massage practitioner, because my license expired in 2022. And I really, really specialize in helping clients release stress, pain, and anxiety. And I like to brag in less time than a coffee break. So in today's video, I want to go over why it is that you can't exactly relax. And the reason it is something that the mainstream media, the mainstream health companies or industries, the medical establishments, they're never going to talk to you about it, because there's no profit to be made on this method. This method is super, super simple. But first, we have to discover why it is that you can't relax. We have to get to the root, because the mainstream, what they usually do is they treat the symptoms, because symptoms equals profit. If you could continue to come back over and over to your doctor, to your therapist, to your life coach, to whoever it is you go to try to teach you some methods on how to relax, they're going to continue to profit. So hopefully we won't have to do that no more, because I'm going to go over why it is you can't relax. And once we go over why you can't relax, I'm going to show you a few ways on how to actually let go, unwind, chill out. That way you could come from a place of inspiration, come from a place of love, build better relationships, be more magnetic, be more happy, be more fulfilled, and all that good stuff. All right, so why is it that you can't relax? The reason it is that we can't relax is because when you first try to relax, when you first try to sit down and settle, you instantly start to feel disturbed. And this disturbance that you start to feel is very, very uncomfortable. Now, why is it that this happens? The reason why this happens is because we have repressed or suppressed emotions deep down inside of us, ingrained in our nervous system, that we have not allowed to pass on through. So usually what happens is when we go through a tragic event or a trauma or anything bad, a bad thing, when things happen to us, things that we don't like, oftentimes what we do is we do our best to not allow ourselves to feel it. We try to push it back down. We try to repress it. We try to suppress it, or we try to express it. And usually when we express what's bothering us, and this is what you do in therapy, when you express what's bothering you, what happens is you start to create a feedback loop, meaning it becomes easier and easier for you to get disturbed or agitated. Okay, so what do you do though? Why is it so hard to relax? Now, the reason why is every time you go to relax, every time you try to chill out, every time you try to sit down and just be with yourself, and you start to settle, your nervous system starts to settle. And what happens is these repressed emotions, this repressed energy, because emotion, all emotion is energy in motion. What happens is it starts to come up because we have a lot of blockages within us. Remember, we're constantly shoving things down. When things happen to us, we try to block it. And what we're supposed to do is allow it to pass on through. So every time you try to relax, these blockages naturally start to come up. And because it's super, super uncomfortable, we don't want to experience it. However, what you got to realize is that experience is the key. Once you learn to sit with yourself, and when you sit with yourself, all of these repressed emotions are going to start to come up. And you learn to experience it, which means when you experience it, yes, it's going to be painful. Yes, it's going to suck. Yes, initially, you're going to suffer. But if you could learn to get comfortable experiencing these repressed emotions as they come up, if you could just get comfortable with it and learn to sit back, watch, and observe it, don't get entangled with it, don't mess around with it, just allow it to come up. And when you allow it to come up, what ends up happening is it passes on through and you eventually release them and let them go. Now, it's all about experiencing what comes up. It's all about letting go and releasing. Now, we're not taught how to do this ever, particularly in the West. And the reason why, like I said in the past, is because there's no profit. There's no money to be made here. So the key is to really, really learn to relax, at least initially, is to learn to suffer. Because when you go sit down with yourself and you try to relax, the disturbance is going to come. And I'm sure you've experienced in the past. Every time you try to relax, you just start to get agitated. You start to feel frustrated. You feel sadness. You feel anger. You feel, all of the guilt, shame, all of these things start to come up. And because you don't want to experience them, you think relaxing is bad for you. No, relaxation is the key. You have to learn to relax with these emotions. So what are you going to do? Is the next time you try to relax, and when I say relax, I don't mean watch TV and distract yourself from your emotions or read a book and take yourself on a fantasy. What you're going to do is just sit down with yourself. You don't have to do no type of meditation. Is what you do is you sit with yourself from anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes and say, I'm going to relax. And when I go to relax, I understand that disturbances, and these disturbances are repressed emotions, they're going to come up. And as they come up, what you're going to do is first things first, become aware of it. How do you become aware of it? Locate it in the body. Now, a lot of times we think it's our thoughts that's causing the disturbance. No. These are repressed emotions that are just trying to come up. But what we've done with our thoughts is we've blocked them out. So every time pain comes up, we say, oh crap, that's pain. That hurts. This sucks. Let me try to do something. Your brain says, let's go do something so we could push it back down. But what you're going to do instead is when these emotions come up, become aware of it. And how you become aware of it, you locate it in the body. Don't get entangled with your thoughts. Your thoughts are going to do whatever it is that it does. So locate it in the body. And once you locate it in the body, accept that it's there. Now, each emotions are usually things like shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, anger, desire, pride, all of these emotions that have tension around it. Each emotion usually is someplace located differently in the body. So all you got to do is become aware. Okay, I feel, let's say, sadness. Now, for me, when I start to feel sadness, I tend to feel it in my face. I tend to feel it in my eyes. All I'm going to do is say, oh, I'm sad. I locate it. It's here. Once I locate it and I become aware of it, I'm going to accept that it's there. And this is the shitty part. Once you accept that it's there and you allow it to be there, more of it is going to come up. And it's going to suck. It's going to be painful. However, what you have to realize is that you're going to be okay. And that going through this suffering, going through this pain that you're experiencing, because now you're truly learning to experience the pain, the suffering that you've repressed all of these years, all of these repressed emotions that are coming up. Just accept it. It's going to come up. It's going to suck. But understand that eventually, just by accepting it there, it might take minutes. It might take 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Just sit with it, watch it, accept it's there. You're going to see that it starts to flow. And what's going to happen is this energy. Remember, emotions are just energy in motion. This energy is going to start to move. And it might transmute into a different emotion. So the sadness might turn into anger. And then what do? You just become aware of the anger, accept that it's there, allow more of it to come up, and then from there, allow that to flow. And if you continue to do this process of becoming aware, accepting it, and then allowing it to flow, eventually, now it might take a few practices to do this, eventually, it's just going to release. It's just going to let go. It's just going to go elsewhere. And once you continuously practice this, now I learned this back in 2020, reading the book Letting Go, The Pathway to Surrender by David Hawkins, and The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Once you start doing this, you'll really, really be able to learn how to relax and settle into the moment. You'll really, really learn to experience life as it is, as opposed to trying to manipulate your experience to make it what you want. And that's usually the cause of a lot of our suffering, is we're constantly, with our mind and our actions, trying to manipulate the moment in front of us to make it what we want. Now, this process is not about getting what you want. It's about acceptance. It's about being. It's about experiencing. Because I'm going to tell you a secret. Even if you get what you want, you're still going to feel pain. And why is that? Because what I found is when most people get what they want, now they have the fear of losing it. And what they end up doing is they end up clinging onto it. It's like a relationship. You ever want somebody so bad that you cling on to them? And because you cling on to them, you end up pushing them away. They want to get away from you because you're smothering them. It's the same thing here. Now, how do you get what you want and actually learn to enjoy it? Is by doing this process of learning to truly unwind, learning to truly let go, learning to truly experience life as it is, coming from a place of being, coming from a place of inspiration. But you have to do this process, and you have to go into the suffering. You're doing this all the time. You're doing this all the time. What I mean by this, you're always shoving things down. You ever see somebody walking towards you, and then your mind, it automatically starts racing? It's like, should I say hi to them? Maybe I should not make eye contact with maybe I should look away. Maybe I should look up, pretend like I don't see them. Like, we're always feeling these weird emotions in us, but we're just not noticing it. We're just blocking it out with our minds. How about traffic? You ever be driving and all of a sudden anger comes up in you? And then what do? You end up expressing it, screaming at somebody for no reason at all. So this process it's the letting go process. It's super, super simple. And I said I was going to share a couple of strategies. Another strategy you could do is just notice the space around you as you're starting to feel the pain. So let's say the pain starts to come up in your body. You're trying to sit down. You're trying to learn how to relax. You're trying to settle. As you sit down and relax, just notice the empty space around you while still experiencing the feeling. So as opposed to trying to block out the feeling with your thoughts, just notice the space around you. One of the things I like to do is look between my thumb and my index finger, and I like to look at the space in between and analyze the space in between and just observe it while experiencing whatever disturbances is coming up. And if you just do something as simple as that, Learn to let go and learn to observe your environment without thoughts. Just true observing, true experiencing. Learn to accept the moment as it is. You'll actually learn to relax. You'll actually learn to unwind. And you'll finally be set free. So, hopefully, you enjoyed the video. Hopefully, you'll take my advice. Learn to truly let go. And if you like the video, of course, please like. Please comment in the comment section below to let me know what you think. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now. Peace.